Hey, what's going on, everyone? Good morning. I hope everyone had a good weekend. Um, let's take a look to see what's going on the higher time frame. We already took previous month's high. We're still in bullish order flow, so I'm not looking for any shorts. What range are we in? Some people have asked me about price cycles, so let's do this just so you can see. Um, right. This is the 24,000 price range. We're gonna do 24, 5. All right, this is the next price range we're in. Still looking for longs, so this is the high that I want to look for. On the hourly. This is buy side we just took. Again, anything I do is not financial advice. I'm just showing you things that I've learned in my own experience. So I'm looking for longs, right? If if I'm looking for longs, I need to look for some type of retracement, some type of purge, and then I'll look for a long. I'm not gonna look for longs up here. So there's two types of entries that you can look for, right? Um, to me, it's very easy to identify a purge and revert model. Okay, so it's you look for your market maker models, a purge and revert, right? And when I mean purge and revert, it's what I've been showing you. Um, I'm actually gonna come here. We got a whole bunch of freaking lines everywhere. Let's see. All right, you get your previous your PXH, your previous cycle or previous whatever high, whatever your time cycle is, right? And then your low, right? So this is normally what I look for, just my purge and revert, and you purge. You look for your structure, your market structure shift, or time of interest. I'll look for my buy model, right? Well, there's also continuations. How do continuations work? So let's say this is the purge and revert model. Then you get your continuations. Now, if they're dumb clear, I will take an entry. But if it's not, then I won't take it. And most of the time, I'll let them go. right? Because they're not usually my A plus, to be honest. So that's why I don't really do a lot of continuations. Unless, like I said, unless it's really dumb clear, then I'll take an entry. Um, so your continuation is going to look like this. So you're here in the middle of the range, and then you come up here, you tag the previous cycle high, you use it as resistance, or I guess support. This is support, right? You use it as support, and then you take off. That's what a continuation model looks like. So you look, it'll displace above another high. This is another high. It will come, touch, and it will take back off. I'm more comfortable taking the purge and revert. I like to look for a purge, and then if there's SMTs during a time of interest, then I will execute. So for here, this is a previous day. This is Friday. This is your Friday high, and we displace. You see, this is a 15-minute. We close above it. We have a busy. We'll come, we'll tap it, and then we take off. That's the thing is like there's nothing else on the left side that you can target, right? So when there's nothing else on the left side that you can target, then you have to start looking at price. So 24.3 is a good target. I was eyeballing 24.2, but we already hit it. So now what I am looking for, because I'm bullish, I'm looking for a type of retracement or a type of purge, and then it shows me SMT during the type of interest. I'll take a long once we retrace somewhere down here, and then target up here, or if if we retrace, then we're gonna leave a high like this. So we would right here, let's say we'll start retracing, right? And then we do another market structure shift, and I would target this high. That's what I'm looking for. I'm not going to start looking for shorts unless on the higher time frame we took a major buy side liquidity like a previous month's high, which this is a previous month's high up here. And then if there was SMT during a time of interest or a time cycle, then you can look for a short as a retracement. But in this scenario, I wouldn't look for a short because the probabilities they're going to be low. So another way that I would look for a short is, let's say right now, um, you see how we keep going up, right? And I'm bullish. So during what time is it? Let's go into the 1 minute so you can see. All right. So we're in the middle of our time of interest, right? We're in our macro. So because I'm bullish, we don't have an entry, right? It just keeps going up and up, right? So these are one of those sessions that I'm I'm not gonna I'm not just gonna push the button. I need these stars to be aligned for me, right? I need everything to be aligned for me to look for a long entry. How would I look for a short? I know it kind of sounds like like I'm contradicting myself, but if I would look for a short here, it's going to be a scalp. I'm not going to be shooting for the stars. Um, and it's probably going to be a lower leverage trade if I would look for short, right? Because the probabilities are highs, right? So here we're in this 90-minute cycle. If I were to look for a short, I'm looking for the next 90-minute cycle to start. If we have a purge, let's say here, because at 10 o'clock, the next 90-minute cycle starts, right? So let's say within this time frame, here, here to here is the next 90-minute cycle, right? So if for any reason we're doing this, and then this 90-minute cycle starts doing this, and then we purge, we look for a market structure shift, then I'm going to take a short. Okay, so that's how this is the next 90-minute cycle. We'll leave a high, right? We'll purge it. We're gonna do this. I'm gonna put it blue, and I would target these lows. These are previous 90-minute cycle lows as sell side. This is how I would look for a short. So sell side liquidity right there. All right. This is the next 90-minute cycle. We'll get a purge, and then if we look for a time of interest, let's say there's SMT, and then this is your market structure shift. You put your stop loss at the high of the SMT, your low hanging fruit, or if you take partials along the way, somewhere in the middle, and you hold to the next 90-minute cycle low. That's how I would look for shorts. But like in this scenario right here, I would not look for shorts right here. Right? We're just in the middle of nowhere. Um, what would I do? I would look for a long, but how would I look for a long, right? So I gave you the scenario of how I would look for a short. I I would wait for the next 90-minute cycle, right? Because keep this in your notes. So this is the 9 o'clock candle here. What would the 10 I highlighted the 10 o'clock right here. This is 10 o'clock, right? The 10 o'clock candle, what it's doing, it's sweeping the 9 o'clock candle. It uses it as liquidity. And then the 10 o'clock candle, you'll see a form of SMT, a market structure shift on the 1 minute. The 10 o'clock candle sweeps the liquidity. And then you can target the low hanging fruit, which can be to here, or you can hold runners. But that's technically what's happening. Okay, just keep that for your notes. The 10 o'clock candle will sometimes purge the 9 o'clock candle, use it as liquidity, and then you'll have a short entry. So, if I'm looking for longs, how would I look for longs? So I would look for longs here. I would want this to just retrace, purge, and then so that's the scenario that I'm looking for. All right. So we purge a 90-minute cycle. We look for a form of SMT here. If you don't have the SMT there, if we purge this, another form of SMT will be here. Then you look for your long entry. You do your 1 to 1, 1 to 2. I would look for these highs, buy side liquidity, and let's say if I would, it hits TP, I would leave a runner to 24,300. So I would hold the runner to, or try to hold the runner to there. So those are my buy and sell scenarios. Um, Hopefully this makes sense. So today's, if you look, it's really just a study day. It's good to, so days like this is good to look at the charts, right? So that's what I like to do. I like to look at the charts every day, whether I trade or not. These are good days to keep yourself in check, right? Can you can you control yourself? Can you if you what's the first thing you need to do? You need to have a system. You already have your strategy. You know your strategy works. Okay? You're already there. You're probably maybe on your break even stage. You know that your strategy works. What's stopping you? You. You are, right? You're stopping yourself. Don't don't worry about what other people think. Don't get pressured into reading what you see on on Twitter or what you see on YouTube. Uh, you know, everybody here. This is you versus you. Okay, every strategy. I'm sure every strategy works. The thing that's stopping you is you. So the thing that I'm trying to get to is you really, if you have a strategy, good, right? I'm showing you what works for me. You might have similar strategies or a different strategy. If you test it and it's working for you, good. What do you need to do next? You need to have a system, right? So it's you have your trading strategies, and you have to have a system to follow that system. That system includes uh your rule sets, and it's not just like, oh, if I see this pattern, you need to understand the higher level. Okay, you need to understand what's going on the higher time frame. Um, then once you understand what's going on the higher time frame, if you know what you're looking for on a higher time frame, that will allow you to see where the liquidity is at, right? Because the algo only cares about what high, what low is going to go for. Then you also need to have a mental system, right? If you have a mental system and you have that on check, you end up mastering your emotions, and um you once you master yourself, you're going to be able to take these entries, and you're not going to care about um, you know, hey, this is just going up. I could have taken a long entry somewhere. It's just self control, and I wasn't like prepared to like go on a rant about your trading and your mental. I'll make a video on this the shift basically. That's what I'm going to call it, the shift, because you're going to know when that happens. One day you're going to wake up and it's the shift. That's what it is. Where you shift from either from losing to winning, or from being break even to like being consistently making profits. So, long story short, this is my bread and butter window. I didn't have a trade, something that I'm looking for, right? Either I'm looking for highs or a perfect scenario for shorts. Um, I like to look at the market every day, whether I trade or not. Self control. You master self control. of your own uh, mind, your emotions, then you'll start consistently sniping the market. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut this video short here, and if you have any questions, leave them in the comments, and I'll see y'all tomorrow.